Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse. This is the Bible Forum. We're here every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time just to entertain you? No, to educate you and to help you understand the kinds of things that are going on in our world, even as we speak. The news this week, Donald, our president, Mr. President, met with Germany's Chancellor Merkel in a frosty atmosphere of polite disagreement and maybe just a little bit of disdain. The press reports indicate a frequently awkward joint press conference. President Trump and Chancellor Merkel showed little common ground, according to them, as they addressed the host of thorny issues, including NATO and defense spending and free trade deals. For most of the 30 minutes in the East Room, Merkel was stony-faced, according to reports, as Trump ripped into Washington's NATO allies for not paying their fair share for transatlantic defense and demanded fair and reciprocal trade deals. The visit began cordially. They shook hands at the entrance of the White House. I saw it. But later, apparently sitting inside in the Oval Office, Merkel's suggestion of another handshake went unheard or ignored by our president. An awkward moment in what are usually highly scripted occasions. In other news, according to Israeli diplomatic officials, Iran is on the verge of reaching a deal with the regime of Syrian President Bashar Assad to build a military base at the port of Latakia on the Mediterranean coast. According to the report, this would be Assad's way of paying Iran back for the extensive military and financial support that it has provided to the Assad regime since the outbreak of the ongoing war in Syria 6 years ago. The Jewish state, the report said, views the establishment of an Iranian military presence in the Mediterranean as an extreme step that would foster instability all throughout the region and had the possibility of promoting terrorism against Israel. Is anybody paying attention? Are you starting to see the pieces of this looming apocalypse coming together? In European Union news, this week the EU banned headscarves, and Turkey's Islamist-friendly leader is furious. Breitbart News is reporting that last week President Erdogan was furious. He's in Turkey, you know, that European governments would not permit his ministers to rally the Turkish expatriates there in the European Union, those that have migrated there from war-torn Syria and Iraq, not able to challenge them and encourage them to vote for him. And now he said last Thursday that the EU's ban on headscarves in workplaces would launch, as he put it, quote, a struggle between the cross and the crescent. Whatever could that mean? Can you say crusades? They took out the capital city of the Roman Empire, Constantinople. They almost took Europe about 600 or 800 years ago. Erdogan is not simply making a flippant comment. He rules what was the Ottoman Empire, at least 400 years worth of Ottoman Empire till World War I. And many see him carefully constructing another empire. In 21st century America, there are two distinct cultures. One lobbies, some would say agitates, for the government to take care of those who have need. The other just simply rolls up its sleeves and helps people. Case in point. According to the NBC News, February 26th of 2017, a stay-at-home mom learned of a Yemeni family who emigrated here and was now in her hometown in Louisiana. While others may have expected the government to take care of them, she went to work to find them clothes, to find them jobs, to find them food. Facebook, Twitter, etc. yielded an overwhelming response, more than she needed or could use, including money. It's So she did what was necessary to get in contact with other refugees, and now has more than 24 families for which she has coordinated help. The neighborhood, friends, people she's never met, all wanting to help. She planned a traditional Yemeni dinner prepared by these refugees. The dinner sold out in 2 hours. This is the silent majority. These are the people that some of the rabble-rousers see as part of the problem, conservative types, people who say, no, you got to roll up your sleeves and get to work, can't depend on the government taking care of you. And look what they do. And they're doing this stuff all over the country. A 2016 UK survey found that since 1990, rates of depression and anxiety among the young have increased by 70%, while the American Counseling Association has reported a rising tide of personality disorders among millennials. 70% in just 16 years. Some are suggesting this lies at the feet of progressive parenting. In 2014, a survey of 100,000 college students at 53 U.S. campuses by the American College Health Association found that 84% of U.S. students feel unable to cope, while more than half experience overwhelming anxiety. Not just tension, overwhelming anxiety. On the surface, this sounds like kids are not getting the training, the parental preparation that they need. A byproduct of all of this fear has been the growth of what are called safe spaces. Unfortunately, these safe spaces do little more than enforce the distressed person's fear of the world, trapping them in their original trauma with a psychological frame of permanent and inescapable victimhood. You remember when your mom used to say, go outside and play? What if you came in complaining that you didn't have anything to do? What did she tell you? Get out. Find something. Give you a list of things you could do. My dad used to say the grass needs cutting. You learn. There's some things you just don't say. If you came in crying that somebody hurt your feelings, you were told to stop crying, go back out there. Life is like that. Get over it. But then the psychologist said that was damaging our little psyches. Does anybody know what a psyche is? Well, now we know what really damages it. So stop it. A new study shows that a majority of Americans are on board with women being pastors and priests, though evangelicals remain largely uncomfortable with the idea. Me, I'm not the least bit uncomfortable with the idea. I am dead set against it. I hate women. I don't want them doing nothing. Barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen. Amen? No. But the Bible has reserved certain things for certain members of the family, and the woman is never to take that role. But then you have to believe the Bible is true, and that it means what it means, and that God understands, and it's important. According to a newly released survey at the Barna Group, 79% of Americans are comfortable with a female priest or a female pastor. You break it down into groups, evangelicals, which Barna describes as having, quote, a more traditional interpretation of scriptures. Isn't that a nice way to put it? A more traditional. They believe the words on the page. Are by far the most uncomfortable with the idea. I wonder why. Only 39% of evangelical respondents said they were comfortable with a woman in the pulpit. 71% of mainline Protestants said the same thing. Mainline Protestants have been liberal gone as long as I've been on the planet, and they're getting worse. But evangelicals aside, most other practicing Christians would be comfortable with a woman in the pulpit. Barna editor-in-chief Roxanne Stone said this is likely to become more of an issue for churches as women continue to gain equality in other spheres. More of an issue. There's an understatement.